Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. So I've just posted a video showing the Sheridan tank that I'd built, which was the 135 scale Tamiya kit. Now in that video I mentioned that I was moving away from doing 172nd and doing more 135th, 148th, and over the years I have to say, when I've shown builds that are standalone, there have been people who've encouraged me to perhaps introduce a figure to display with the vehicle or with the aircraft. In particular, Panzerman Bunkers Bill, you probably all know him. He does fantastic dioramas and fantastic paint jobs on his figures and also his vehicles or aircraft. And I must admit, I am leaning to do that more often, and as a consequence I've had to raid my local hobby shops to try and find some figures that would go with some of the projects that I have in mind in 135th. So the first one that I wanted to show you, because it ties in with the Sheridan, is this Vietnam War series from Masterbox, which is just called Petroleum. Anyway, you've got four American GIs, and you've got this Vietnamese woman in the middle of them, and the intention is to just do a very simple base with the Sheridan and with these four guys. I may not include the Vietnamese woman, I may just leave it as the GIs standing around talking to each other beside the tank. So that's the first set that I bought. I'll move on to the next set now. So this next set is, as you can see, German Tank Crew France 1940 from Miniart, and I am doing a buddy build with John Parker, and that will be the basis of the next video. And we're both doing the same kit, hence why we're classing it as a buddy build. But he's going to do his kit as Africa Corps, whereas I, although my granddad served in the 8th Army, you know, it is a theatre of the World War II that is of interest to me. Obviously, managing to get over to Europe, if you like, to France, Belgium, obviously Germany, and see some of the places, you know, that are named as part of the Western Front, it just resonates a bit more with me. So I won't be doing the build as Africa Corps. I want to do it as either Polish or French campaign. So I needed to swap out the figures, at least what the tank commander figure, with something else, and that's why I've bought these. Whether I'll use all of them, I don't know. It may just be, it will be the tank commander. I have already got some German infantry, which I can put alongside the tank that we're building. So that's the second set. So this next set I got is, for obvious reasons, some baggage and whatever that can be thrown over the backs of vehicles or within the back of trucks, and I just thought it would be a useful set to get. Obviously, I have seen tutorials where you can make your own bed rolls and you know, canvases and things, and I may do some of that, but I just thought it would be useful to have something that I could just pick up, paint and place on a vehicle. So that's that set. Okay, this next set is a US Tank Crew, European theatre again. I have got one or two 135th scale American tanks to do, and as I say, leaning towards trying to add just a little something to a build. I thought I would pick up this set. Obviously, again, I don't have to use all of them in one build. I can use different ones, so I could just have these two chaps on the top of the turret for one build, and then I could have all these four doing something else for in a second build. So, but I thought that was quite a nice set to get. I do like the fact that you get these crates, it would appear, that will be very useful. What I may have to look at doing though for all these sets is seeing if I can get 1/35 decals for some of the insignias and things like that, because that would be useful. If you recall, I did that for the 37mm anti-aircraft gun, where the crew, I managed to get the decals for Luftwaffe crew for the gun, and I just found that really helped in setting off the figures. So that's it. On to the next one. So I thought I'd pick Russians to show next. I thought it was only right after showing the Americans. So this is Tamiya's Russian assault infantry, 41 to 42, and as you know, I've got quite a few Russian vehicles to do, and these will just help again, just to give some perspective and whatever. And I think there's just the 5 figures, and again, they look quite dynamic poses, don't they? They look as if they're all in action or whatever, and so we'll see how it works with the various tanks that I intend to do. So that's that one. Back to my Germans, and these are some Dragon figures, Operation Marita, Greece 1941, but looking at the figures, I don't see much difference, as if they were France 1940, to be honest with you. This guy looks as if he could be armoured car or panzer. This looks like a typical infantryman. That figure reminds me of Sepp Dietrich. He was the commander of, was he commander of Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler? But that face I've seen quite a few times in books, and I'm sure that's who that's supposed to represent. So just something slightly different with them being Dragon as opposed to Tamiya, and I don't think I've ever put Dragon figures together, so that could be quite interesting. Next set. So some more Germans. I couldn't pass these up because they should have been £13.50 and they were £7.25, so I've just got to get them. Again, these are it says Ghost Division Tank Crew, Blitzkrieg 1940. So obviously this guy's an infantryman, but these 3 in the black uniforms are Panzer crew, and you see, with German vehicles, I tend to lean more towards doing the Panzer Grey rather than the later vehicles. Early war just fascinates me. You know, it almost screams what if certain things had happened. It could have perhaps all been prevented. But then again, you know, the whole German war machine at the time was just so in tune with itself that it just steamrolled everything, and you know, that's what fascinates me about the early war. The other thing is that I find Panzer Grey is a much easier thing to paint something in, as opposed to the multiple colours that the later war. I may progress to later war at some other date, but I want to stick to doing Panzer Grey and trying to achieve good results with that to start off with. So that's that set. So here's the last set, and this is a set from Meng. So that means I've got figures from Meng, Dragon, Tamiya, Miniart and Masterbox, and these are modern Russian tank crew, and I thought they would work well with some of the more modern Russian tanks that I've bought, perhaps the T-72 or something like that. I'm not quite sure what period this uniform covers, but I'm hoping that they will be okay to just sit one in the turret of one of those tanks or something. And that's it, guys. Basically, that's where I'm hoping my hobby's going to move forward. 1/35, but adding just a little bit to set the scene. Possibly diorama bases will be very straightforward, very simple squares or circles, with the vehicle plonked on and some figures next to it. And let's see if I can kind of improve on the whole diorama thing. So quite a lot to learn: how to build 135th armour, how to paint 135th figures, how to build a diorama to a reasonable standard. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch up with you soon.